From Infinity Park in Glendale, Colorado, it's week 9 in the inaugural Major League Rugby season. And we have an exciting match ahead. The first place Glendale Raptors host the second place Seattle Seawolves in Rugby Town, USA. Welcome, rugby fans, to beautiful Infinity Park in Glendale, Colorado, as we bring you live action for this top-of-the-table clash in the inaugural Major League Rugby competition of 2018. I'm Mark Stabina, and joining me, former Eagles women's national team head coach, Peter Steinberg. Now, Peter, we have quite a congested table coming into the playoffs of this competition.
We absolutely do. It is such a competitive competition this year, and it's being shown up on the league tables. And what we have today is the top two teams, Glendale and Seattle, really going to be determining who ends up top at the end of the season. But the bottom, who knows who the third and fourth team is going to be? NOLA won earlier today and have actually jumped 2 places to 4th. And so those third and fourth place matches will go down to the last weekend of the tournament. And Seattle come in, they've only had 1 loss, and that's been at home to this Glendale team on week 2. But last week, they came back, despite missing some of their key players, to beat Austin 2019. And we can see here some wonderful play as William Resalika is able to go over close in, playing like a flanker, even though he's a center. Look at that leg drive, gets over and is able to put the ball down for the first score. And then Sequoia Burke-Coombe finishes this off nice and easy, just gets over the line by some nice play with hands by Matt Turner. And then Taylor Crumroy using his legs to get over, and that win 2019 is what brings them to the top of the table. And it's really the return of Phil Mack that's the key today. He got his 50th cap last week against Canada, but the Seawolves are really driven by this sea wall, and the sea wall is their defense. And I think Duchelle, Shermer, and Penny, they will be key at the breakdown. And so that's the Seawolves. What about the Raptors, Mark?
Well, the Raptors are still undefeated in this competition, and they will be tough to stop today against Seattle. We see their road into this match today, and surprise, surprise, the closest match of their season was against Seattle, the team they're coming up against today. They beat Houston last week coming into this match, so they're high on confidence. Here's some action from that match. The first try of the game going to Harley Davidson after a beautiful take from a beautiful kick from Maximal D'Archibald. The first of 3 tries for Davidson, in fact, in a man-of-the-match performance. But D'Archibald, he can do it all. He also scored one of his own as he went all the way, despite a high tackle at the end, still dotted down. And Harley Davidson, that man again, Johnny on the spot, picked it perfectly and then won the race all the way to the try line. 3 tries for him. He'll be one to watch today. Look at the lineup of the Raptors. They'll be relying on the leadership of their homegrown hooker and captain Zach Fenolio, and Peter Dahl returns to his favorite number 8 jersey to add his experience. And of course, keep an eye on the 2 in-form backline players of Harley Davidson and Seth Halliman at wing and fullback respectively. Well, we are set up for a blockbuster of titanic proportions here in Glendale, Colorado today. Strap yourselves in, folks. Don't go anywhere, as we'll be back for the kickoff right after the break.
the official credit union of the Glendale Raptors. Carry the Raptors experience. Tullamore Dew, the original triple blend Irish whiskey. And by Guinness, a proud partner of the Glendale Raptors. Guinness, made of more. The keys to the game for Seattle, brought to you by Ivars, is really to win the territorial battle. They have to play down in Glendale's end, and then they'll be able to use their seawall, their defense, to be able to put pressure on Glendale with their contest at the ruck, and they just have to defend the wide attack.
And the keys to a Glendale victory today include speeding up their offense at ruck time. They also need to be mindful of the potent kick return of Seattle's Matt Turner, and we are anticipating a close match that could come down to goal kicks. And Maximo Diarchibald's slightly better recent kicking form from the tee than Will Holder's for Seattle could be the difference.
So Adam Leal in the middle today from one of the RFU referees.
We are underway in this top-of-the-table clash for the 2018 Major League Rugby Championship. It's the Glendale Raptors with ball in hand. On the left of your screen, the visitors. Ball goes to ground. Halliman brings it in. He had a fantastic game against Houston last week. Tore them to shreds, especially from the kick return. Seattle's kick defense will need to be spot on. Diarchibald sends it to London. And now it's come out wide. Still with the ball. Good defense from Seattle early on.
Interesting play here by Glendale to keep the ball in hand in their own half. Not what they normally do, but obviously they think they've got an opportunity against Seattle out wide, especially when they drop their players back for the kick receipt.
Very ambitious play from the Raptors. Diarchibald now opts to kick, spiraling it down into the 22 of the Seawolves. Turner backtracks, picks it up, has plenty of time, shapes up. End over end punt kick. It's a good one. Diarchibald's right there, sends it in, plays quickly. Halliman stepping, this is what he did last week. Very shifty player. Ball slows down. Now, Glendale, middle of the field. In no hurry. Just showing their patience early on, keeping the ball in hand until now. Diarchibald from the pocket sends it into the hands of Holder. Holder decides to run. And he's met with a very tough confrontation. Russell-Leaker goes without it. Just took his eye off it. Was behind him. The ball goes backwards. Duchel cleans things up for Seattle. Slow ball now. Holder in the pocket. He wants it. And now he sends it into touch. So a little bit of a kicking duel early on.
Well, I mean, we're at altitude, so when you're up here at a mile high, right, because we're just in the outskirts of Denver, that adds about 10 or 15 meters to your kick. So I think Glendale will be happy in all of that. They received the kickoff, they were inside their own half, and the end result is they get a good attacking line out inside Seattle's half, and Seattle hasn't shown the ability to either counter or kick effectively back. So I think that it'll be an interesting matchup with that kick.
Fenolio finds Cook. Referee said there was a slight knock.
Well, Jake Chrisman is 19, and here he is playing Major League Rugby. Really exciting for him, and you can just see just a little bit there. What you don't want to do as a scrum half is you don't want to be static, and so he found himself static. His feet were planted. That means he couldn't adjust even if the throw wasn't there. I think a coach would look at the jumper and say, hey, it's the jumper's responsibility to get the ball into the number 9's hands. But as a former number 9, I would say, be a little bit lighter on your feet and actually come into the ball, and you'll be able to do that. Big scrum, big weapon for Seattle. Be interesting to see how Glendale can hold up.
Plenty of learning lessons on offer here for the number 9, Jack Christman, as you said, Pete.
Wow, good nudge there by Glendale, and they win. That'll be really interesting if they're able to get the edge here against Seattle. The scrum has been such a weapon for Seattle throughout the season. That's going to be a bit of a shock.
Scrum selected.
So what we can see here is there's a great drive that comes from Glendale. You can see the ball comes in. It's not a good shove. There's a good drive by Glendale, and the referee said, hey, you didn't accept that drive. That's why it's a free kick. You didn't meet the drive that Glendale brought. And interestingly, Glendale, because it's a free kick, which means you can't kick it directly into touch, they've chosen another scrum. They think they've got the edge.
Set.
So Glendale playing with plenty of confidence early on. Not even 5 minutes gone in this match. They're making their intentions known with London taking a short ball over the advantage line. Flat pass now to Dahl. Puts it down and forward, but it's play on. Playing the advantage now.
Great
Sherman
vision.
did well.
Great vision by Phil Mack. When the ball's turned over, often the wings that were up for attack weren't able to get back. He saw that space.
It was the right option as well as it was brought in by the wing.
Just got a good position.
Misai Nalu, great chase from Misai Nalu, retrieving the ball. Got bundled into touch, couldn't quite get the ball back in before stepping out, so it will be a Glendale throw-in.
So interesting already to see a little tactical change by Glendale where Mika Kruse is actually wearing 12 but playing 13, and Chad London, who's wearing 13, was playing 12. You normally think about putting your bigger player at inside center, and Mika Kruse is a young player at 19 and he's played 13 before, so good choice there, I think, by coach Dave Williams.
The Raptors now with a chance to bring it out of their red zone. Back again to Diarchibald. From the pocket, once again, gets it away nicely, but Turner brings it in beautifully on his tippy toes. Beats the first defender. Little no-look pass to Mack. Seattle on the charge. Prime attacking position right now. Shermer, great offload. That's Crumry. Quick ball for Seattle. Holder spirals it out to his number 12. That's Sampson. Up over the 22 of Glendale.
Legal contest there, coming back for no advantage, high tackle.
So you can see on that kick chase, it wasn't very connected. Mika Kruse was there on his own. Matt Turner beat him, and then because it was a broken defensive line, often you'll find tackle technique becomes very difficult, and then it ended up with a high tackle. So great attacking position here by Seattle early on in the game. They're going to kick to touch, and they're going to look to drive this in.
Well, just on that point, Pete, when you said with kick chase, if they're slightly disjointed or not tight enough with the spacings, then it becomes almost like a sevens defense. And when you have someone like Matt Turner, former England sevens player, that's the kind of defense he loves to run back against.
So you can see Turner makes the break, and then coming here, Harley Davidson going a little bit high. Just called, wasn't dangerous, it was high, but wasn't too dangerous. No intent, so the referee says just a penalty, but you've got to be careful of that. Could be a yellow card next time.
So Treeweiler gets it into the beast. Duchel. The drive follows. Crabs infield. Glendale doing their best to upset it. It's now gone to ground, and Mack has to dig in. Gets it away. Good hands from Paulson. Still going, Seattle. The 8 minutes gone, top of the table clash. These two juggernauts, we expect a titanic affair. We have a pick and drive.
Advantage.
Great defense from Glendale. Referee playing advantage. Mack gets it to Duchel. Very dangerous, strong runner. He'll be heavily marked today. And now Holder takes a flat ball on the charge. He's brought down a yard from the line. Still in possession of the Seawolves.
Scott, did you have any?
Well, so close, Pete Steinberg.
So close, but it was another penalty against Glendale. Let's have a listen.
Please. Nine's played here. Okay, so We've got 2 penalties. You can have the one over here, or we've got the arm of the 9 being played down here. So you can have the penalty here or the penalty over here, which is more in line with the sticks.
How far is it?
It's just a little bit further out in the middle.
Let's play. We'll take it right here.
Take the penalty here.
Wow, so
line,
this is a new law. So the law is that when there's multiple penalties, the team can choose where they want the penalty. You might say, well, why would you ever want a penalty that's further back? And so what Seattle said is, well, sometimes you want the penalty further back, and you hear the referee, he said, well, that one's more in line with the sticks, and that means the post. So sometimes you would take it back if you want to kick it and get 3 points. But Seattle are here to score tries, and so they said, no, let's play. You could hear Phil Mack said, let's play. And he said, let's choose the scrum. So it's a better attacking position if you want the ball to take this penalty, but it would have been a better kicking position, even though it was further back because it would be right in front of the post. Interesting choices here by Seattle. They're saying, hey, let's play.
Just take it.
I love that the referee gave a little hint, nudge, nudge there with his explanation.
Well, I think that he was just, it's hard to say where the other penalty spot is, so he wanted to let them know, hey, that's a better one for kick if you want to take that one.
Come up. Can you just take a half step back for me, because we're a little bit over the 5 metre. Cool.
Lots of management here because the scrum's being so competitive.
Just make sure it binds up.
So you can hear he's talking to them. He says binds up. The 2 things the referees look for in the scrum is that the binds of the props on the outside are their elbows up. That's number 1. The second way are people driving straight and not at an angle. Those are the 2 things the referees will look at these scrums.
Bind. Set.
10 minutes gone. In this 1 versus 2 Major League Rugby clash. Holder driving forward is Rusalika. The beast to Shell up over the 5 metre line. Sampson, he has a crack and he's got over. That's a try, the first try of the match to Mozak Sampson for Seattle. Who would have thought?
Well, I mean, they were on the back foot for the first few minutes, but the discipline of Glendale, which has been a problem for them throughout the season, really is what forced them back. And right there, the ball was way too fast for Seattle. That meant that the Glendale defense wasn't able to what we call come round the corner, which is get to the far side, always the hardest place to go. And so that's what allowed Sampson the power and space. You can see there's no line speed, okay, no line speed there, and he's able just to drive over. Unable to come up. Mika Cruz wasn't able to come up and make that hit and drive them back. A little bit easy, but great opportunity by Sampson to be able to get the ball down on his first start. Young Canadian player with a lot of potential.
Holder for the conversion. Sprays it out to the right.
Interesting thing about Sampson is that his mother played sevens for Fiji, and his wife played for Canada in the 2014 World Cup and was actually the 2012 Canadian Player of the Year. So as someone who's obviously been a lot involved in women's rugby, I always like to hear the families where the mothers and the wives are actually better than the husbands and the sons.
Restart goes sky high and into the hands of Sequoia Burke-Coombs, who does extremely well. And that's well brought in and great hands from Nakai Penny. Hands again from Mecha. And now some space for Seattle. Turner finds his wing. Still going, looking for support. It was Misangalu.
This ball is just way too fast. They're doing a great job. They've got to slow this down.
That's exactly what Glendale have done. They needed to do that.
He said really easy, he got it.
He's been partially pulled in by you.
Stay in the possession of Seattle.
So that all comes from the fact they were able to generate fast ball. And you can see Seattle are here to play. They're saying, hey, we're not going to play a kicking game if we can get a little bit of go forward. So when you go forward with the ball, it's easier to support. It means all of your teammates are behind you. That means you can come in and hit those rucks. You can clear them out quickly, which means it's hard for the defense to set. And right now, Seattle are playing at a pace on attack that Glendale just can't match. Glendale have to get some line speed, and they've got to get some players over the ball, which is what they did right there. Just slow it down, not even win it. If they slow it down, they can be effective.
Crouch! Seattle certainly looking good in this early exchange. 15.5 minutes gone here in Glendale, Colorado. As Mack finds Holder. Switch play back on the inside. Beautiful run from Misanalu. Through the hands. Holder again recycles himself. Stays strong in the tackle of Cruze. And now Penny comes in looking for work. Mack with a wide pass to Kellen Gordon.
Ball's just too fast for Glendale to create any line speed.
Mack found a little hole around the ruck, and it's coming back the opposite direction now.
You got penalty. You got penalty advantage.
Got the penalty now, as you said, Pete. Just too much pressure for Glendale at the moment. Now showing with their ill discipline.
He's hit his first man here first.
Wow, so ill discipline, but it's all about the pace of play that's going on. And I think that's actually about that first phase defense. So right there, the young scrum half, Drake Chrisman, just wasn't able. That's his channel that Mr. Nalalu came through. He came through and created that line break, and that put them on the back foot. So that first line break from the set piece, they have to shut that down. Right here, you can see what you have to let go of the tackled player when they're tackled. And so you'll see right here, he makes the tackle coming through here. I think it was a little bit early. So right there, makes the tackle. He has to release. Didn't release, and so you have to release and let that player play.
Should be an easy one for Holder.
Well, not normally the kicker. Brock Stoller was called up for Canada, and he's normally the kicker. So this is the reserve kicker, already 0 for 1.
And it's successful. So that's 3 points to Seattle, which extends their lead now to 8 points to 0 over the hosts, Glendale Raptors, who are undefeated going into this match, Pete Steinberg.
So right here, this kickoff's important. In the last kickoff, Harley Davidson missed that first tackle.
Yeah, pretty good, mate.
It's the first tackle that Glendale is really struggling with. So on this kickoff, what they need to do is they need to be able to make that first tackle and really pin Seattle back. If you miss that first tackle, they go forward, then they get to pay with place. Let's see if Harley Davidson can get it this time.
Another high, long kick. That pass goes to ground before eventually being brought in by Phil Mack, who sends it long and into touch on the full. Good clearing kick from Phil Mack.
Excellent clearing kick right there. Bad pass by Mr. Nalalu, and was able to pick it up and was able to kick it out. And he'll be pretty happy with this. But now here's Glendale's chance. They haven't had the ball for a while, so now they have a chance to be able to hold on to it. They've won their line-outs, but they've really got to sharpen up. Chrisman's got to get his service a little bit better with his forwards. He's had 2 passes that his forwards have dropped, just timing.
So what can the Raptors do now with ball in hand? London up over the advantage line.
Your own man.
Comes back the other way. Good hands from O'Neill. Halliman. Well tackled by Shermer. This is better play from the Raptors. Ball comes out a little slow. Peter Dahl takes it forward. D'Archibald. Now to Fafita. That green wall is up. Fafita wriggles his way up to the tackle line. Here's the new player, the youngster, Cruze. Good strong run from Mika Cruze. D'Archibald under pressure. Does well to avoid a crunching tackle coming in from Shermer. Could have been dangerous.
Just a little slow from Chrisman right now. They're winning the ball quickly, but he's just being a little bit too deliberate, and that's allowing a little bit of time for the Seawolves to be able to get their launch going.
Halliman coming in, looking for work. Now back the other way. It's one less. D'Archibald finally puts it on the toe. And Burke Coombs comes back. A little hesitant, decides to take it on himself.
He's falling to ground.
Good kick chase from Davidson, and it's turned over. Back in, intercepted. Referee saw a knock on there somewhere. And it will be a Glendale ball at the scrum.
So with so many Glendale players playing for the US against Scotland today, you can see that they've lost a little bit of their rhythm. I think Maximo D'Archibald is normally a fullback, but a wonderful player. He's played a lot of fly half, but he's just a little bit too deep. And because he's so deep, it's allowing Seattle to win that race to the gain line. They're able to launch, and it's just slowing down the ball. So I think both Chrisman and D'Archibald need to up their game because they're winning the ball, but they're not using it effectively. Great attacking platform here. Need a strong scrum.
Bind!
As you said, Pete, when D'Archibald goes in and he's caught in the tackle, Chrisman, this young scrum half, just second-guessing himself, waiting for direction. He obviously gets a lot from his general at number 10, who has the ball now. London puts it behind. Ball bobbles out under the pressure of Seattle, but there's some space on the outside, and what a brilliant run. Tries to get it back in, looks like a knock on, and it is. So finding a little bit of daylight out there on the wing was the young John Ryberg.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you're a wing and you're saying, okay, I am up against Mr. Analu and I can get around him, you're like, give me the ball again. That's a one-on-one play when you look up as the wing. The first thing a good coach tells their wing is when you've got the ball in space, you know this, Mark, try your opposite number around the outside. And he beat him there, so I think he'll be looking for the ball again. It wasn't great ball, it was moved around, there's lots of space, but look at that. Just able to get it around, really good fend by Ryberg. Great recovery speed by both of the Seattle players, Turner and Misanalu, to be able to do that.
Turner has proved so valuable as the last line of defense for this Seattle team during this 2018 season. Not only just a potent attacking weapon, but a great defender as well. And now Burke Coombs has a crack. It's a high tackle. Referee surely will play advantage.
Harley Davidson's got to be careful. That's one that's been a penalty, but he's actually had 2 high tackles.
And no advantage because it is in possession of Glendale. And they have numbers to burn. Out wide, London.
Scrum advantage over.
Here comes Ryberg. Having another crack. He's so strong. He beats the first defender, gets the offload away, but a last-ditch effort.
It's been touched by
bundles
2 players
the player into touch.
Green
Exciting stuff here in Glendale.
And this is what Seattle do on their defense. You think you've got an advantage, but they work so hard on the outside. Remember, one of the keys of the game, Mark, was their outside defense. And you can see, you think you've got space out there, but they do a great job of drifting, and then they shut down the space, and you use the touchline as an extra defender. You know, the phrase is, the touchline never misses a tackle and always creates a turnover. I think there's a player down here, and I think they're just going to check, or I think he's doing his shoelace up. Doing his shoelace up, which is one of the things you can do. When it's forward, you're able to do that.
We're not going to have that again, okay? I'm aware.
So the Seawolves under pressure.
So Rugby for Rookies, brought to you by BECU. Just had a little look there, but 15 players, 8 reserves. Everyone gets to play offense and defense, and there's 5 ways to score.
Wing is on.
Seawolves getting it well out of their territory with a towering kick all the way up to the halfway. Just what they needed because they were under pressure, Pete.
They were, and I think that the Glendale have to turn some of this pressure into points. They've got to recognize that they have to be a little bit more accurate near the try line.
Okay, we are going to take a short water break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be back in exactly 1 minute.
it's just where he ends up. So let's just make sure we do the same thing for the other side.
We are back, viewers, after the hydration break. 22 minutes gone in this top-of-the-table clash between the Glendale Raptors and the Seattle Seawolves. You're just joining us, I'm Mark Stabina. Joining me, Pete Steinberg. What do you make of the game so far, Pete?
Well, Seattle 8, Glendale nothing, and the difference has been taking those opportunities. Both teams have actually had exactly the same amount of time in the opposition 22. It's been 5 minutes, but every time Seattle have got into Glendale's 22, they've walked away with points, and Glendale have been in Seattle's 22 3 times and have nothing to show for it.
So the Raptors now win their line out. Attempt to drive, they do well. Still going. Getting a good foothold. The crowd get behind them as well. Still going, the Raptors.
This is a great drive.
Wonderfully executed. Ball finally comes to ground, and Diarchibald finds London. Through the hands now. Halliman gets it away quickly before being thumped to the ground. Harley Davidson dances before finally being brought down. Back toward the middle of the field. Through Rogers
still under penalty
and Rock.
advantage.
Some numbers now. Little step off the left from Connor Cook. Quick ball for Glendale. London. He was well tackled. Up over the 22 of Seattle.
Still under advantage.
Diarchibald
Still advantage from that collapsed ball, so they can really start throwing this around. But you can see they keep going back and forth across the field, but Seattle doing a great job of holding them off.
Coming back. We're going side to side, no territorial advantage. Coming back.
So both me and Adam Leal, the referee, agree. No go forward there. But having seen that line-out drive, Glendale should put the ball into the corner and look to drive it over.
Number 6 collapsing them all.
So Adam Leal, the referee from the RFU, he's over here in secondment. He's been here throughout the season. It's a way to help us develop our referees. He works with our local referees here in the US, but it's also a good way for us to get some high-quality refereeing. And one of the keys about referees is their ability to talk. It's one of the unusual things. You can talk someone out of a penalty. If the referee says stop doing that and you stop doing it, he won't penalize it. So you'll hear him talking to the players while the ball's in play.
Absolute pleasure to have Adam Leal with us, as it's another great line-out throw, and it's brought down, sacked by Seattle. So the Raptors, ball at the back.
Same more, guys. He's broken.
Same
no,
ball.
Broken off, Zach.
Now it's away. Diarchibald passes to no one and hold. Tries to fight off Halliman, and he does. Slips it out the back, but it looks like it might have been picked up by Glendale. That was Diarchibald. Great cover from him. Now it's loose, but it was a penalty at the ruck. Hands in the ruck.
You played the ball on the ground with your hands.
Wow, wow. So great. You know, this is the challenge, right? There's with Christman and Diarchibald at 9 and 10. They're just missing a little bit of their connection, but great pickup. Will Holder, he's a big unit for a 10. Didn't quite have the pace, but was able to hold off. And just a little bit of ill-discipline right there by Seattle. You're okay. You don't have to turn it over there. You don't have to give away that penalty. And what you'll see is Diarchibald gets the ball. There's a contest right there. And you can see Seattle getting over it. But Wasalika's hands are on the floor. And when his hands are on the floor, he's on the floor. And that's what the referee called. He says you're on the floor and you can't use your hands.
So Glendale with a good penalty kick, but it's stolen at the line-out. So the Seawolves once again. Max shaping up for a box kick. Notifies his winger. Ball goes sky high. Oh, great encounter in the air. They met the ball at the same time. It goes back on the Glendale side. Halliman brings it in. Diarchibald. They have a line, but it's very flat. Forces Harley Davidson to take his medicine and take it into the tackle. Settles things down. Numbers come around, and London, ball in 2 hands, then into one. Stumbles thanks to the effort of Wasalika. Now Diarchibald bring it back through
Tackle,
Brian One less, 26-year-old from Highlands Ranch in Colorado. Good run from Blake Rogers with the mullet. Same way.
Backwards,
Ball goes
Scott.
down, said backwards. Did Adam Leal, the referee. Glendale still with it. Still going, but no, referee said he was held, so it's a
Tackle,
penalty. That was
and then straight
Kalipi
back up without releasing the ball.
Fafita. Needed to get rid of that one.
You did. So when you're tackled, you have to, and you go down, you have to release the ball. But if you're not held, so if you're knocked down or if you're tackled, the tackler release, then you don't have to release, you can get up. So Fafita thought he wasn't held. So he said, hey, I wasn't held. The referee says, no, you were held enough, you have to release. So it's just one of those really, really close things that you're not sure about. You can just look at the tackle contest that's going right here, but then Fafita right here does a little move, says, hey, no one held me, but the referee said, actually, the tackler did hold you, you went to the ground. Still in contact with the ball carrier, so you have to release. And here we are again, despite all that possession, and the territory that Glendale had, no scores, and Seattle have a great attacking platform because of Glendale's ill-discipline.
So the Seawolves now win the line out. Holden with a flat ball. Deschelle. He's well tackled. He's been a menace to defences all throughout this competition. No doubt Glendale have done their homework. Mack gets it away, back to Deschelle. He wasn't expecting it, flat-footed. All he can do is take it to ground. So I feel Mack was flung to the ground, ragdoll style in back play. He gets back to his feet.
Time it. Use
Hands
it.
on the ball. Now that's Mecha. London straight over that one. Advantage being played. So Holder will have a crack with a drop goal, and it's good.
So that's one of the things. So Holder heard advantage. He knew it was a penalty. So it's either they're going to kick it for points for as a penalty, or if you go for a drop goal, you say it's a free kick. If we miss it, we come back and then we get another kick. So very, very nice play. Sweet strike by Holder. And now it's 11-0. And I think Glendale have really got to be concerned that every single time Seattle get in their 22, they score. And Glendale have not solved the Seawolves yet.
So let go of the 9, okay? Thanks, Max.
Well, as you said, Pete, it's not as though Glendale haven't had opportunities. It's the fact that Seattle have been taking their opportunities, converting the pressure into points, as the expression goes. And now easily brought in by Holder, who sends it somewhat high, somewhat long. But the Archibald has time now to bring it back. Beats off one, a hurried pass out the back. Finally brought in and bundled into touch. So looking like they're in 6s and 7s with ball in hand at the moment, Glendale.
I think they are, and I think that Archibald is someone that they've really got to look to. He has to calm down. Everyone, it's only 11 points. He's an experienced player. He's 33. He was born in the US, grew up in Argentina. He's steeped in the rugby culture. Argentina has such a strong rugby culture, but you can see that was just a little loose. They've got to tighten up and just trust their systems will get them back in the game.
Great line-out win for the Seawolves. And a flat pass to Sampson, the try scorer. Shermer.
It was stripped by Blue.
Physical encounter there, resulting in the ball jolting loose.
Back.
So now Glendale have turned it over. They'll head down that short side with Connor Cook. Back the opposite direction, up over the 40-metre line. D'Archibald using the hands. They have some numbers. Straight running from Fafita. But good defense from Seattle. Now a penalty to Seattle.
2 in a row there by Fafita. This time he was saying, hey, there was someone with their on their feet that was able to be able to get on the ball, and you've got to be able to release. His hand stayed on it. His hand stayed on it, didn't let the player play the ball. And so Fafita, who's a former college football player at Northern Arizona, you can see the explosion that he had, and you'll see right there that he's the Fafita is holding on to the ball and not letting it come, and that's what the referee called. And here, the ill discipline of Glendale is really hurting them. Seattle back inside the 22, and what we're going to expect is we're going to expect them to come away with some points. Glendale have not been able to prevent them from scoring.
Well, it's the visitors at the moment From the Pacific Northwest, the Seattle Seawolves in command at the moment with an 11-0 lead over the host Glendale. Of course, they are looking for redemption here today, Pete Steinberg. They lost early in this competition at home at the hands of Glendale.
But they certainly seem to have come out very motivated. I think they should take the points here. That takes you 14. They're going to go for it, and they're saying, hey, we're going to go for the line out. But it was kicked right through. As I said, I really think you should, when you've got it, you're 11 points up, you're down there. Will Holder struck the ball well, take those points. Terrible, terrible kick there by Will Holder. And now Glendale, for the first time, can hold out Seattle and clear their lines.
Okay.
So what the referee said is that you cannot take the player in the air. You can see he takes the player in the air, pulls him down. That is dangerous. The referee said that's why, that's dangerous. You pulled him down, that's why it's a penalty.
Crouch!
Of course, we have a scrum right now because Will Holder was unable to find the touchline before the in-goal area. So it comes back to where the ball was kicked. D'Archibald again has to panic to get rid of the ball, and he does extremely well, but a cruel bounce as it stays in the field of play. And now Sequoia Burke-Coombs brings it up over the 40-meter line. Phil Mack still with the ball. Holder sends it out. They have numbers, Seattle. Rusalika, wide pass out to Misanalu. Good defense from Glendale, covering across. Very flat attacking line from Seattle. Sampson does well to get well over the advantage line.
But Glendale just don't have any line speed. So even if they're flat, they're able to move that ball wide, and it's going to be a real problem for Glendale. They've got to be able to get that contest and get that line speed going.
Shermer, quick hands to Gordon. Slam to the ground.
Thanks, good effort.
Places the ball sideways, and Phil Mack cleverly just scoops it out. What a great play from the veteran. And now Duchel, little in and away, still going. Duchel finally brought down by Cruze.
Pulls out.
Seattle looking good yet again. Sampson over the 22. Holder, wide pass. Shermer, he's been heavily involved. Turned over, and it's play on. Referee says nothing. So London still going all the way to the try line. Wow, how about that? Just what Glendale needed, but the referee will take a look.
Time off.
And if it is a try, Glendale.
So they're not down there.
Points. Let's listen to the
I
referee
haven't
now.
seen anything clear. I've had a call in, lost forward from someone. Can you give me the information?
The ball was lost by green.
Okay.
Blue clicks it.
So try's good, yeah? Cool. Try.
It's a try. Try has been awarded, and it's under the post, so you would think that 5 points will turn into 7. And Glendale, the hosts, are back in this game.
Minute and a half.
Minute and a half, maxi.
Well,
You see, that's where the turnover happened. The ball goes to ground. Chad London was right there. He waited, he turned, he wondered. But he just kept going. Did not hear any whistle from the referee, so just trotted in to the end zone. The Archibald makes no mistake, right in front, adds the extra 2 points. Crowd are back on their feet. 5 minutes left in this first half. Glendale undefeated, top of the table, playing Seattle, second on the table. This has been billed by many as a potential preview of the championship final of this inaugural season of Major League Rugby competition. Will Holder get us back underway. Bobbles it, curls it. That's going to go straight into touch. Another mistake from Holder. That's 2 crucial kicking errors back to back from the Seattle fly half.
Can't have the line options quick.
And it is a scrum on the halfway. Glendale have opted for that. They do have a choice.
I think it's all right. I don't think it's
It's a
too
wise
much.
decision.
It's going to be. Comes right,
See,
yeah.
once again, that kick, he didn't strike it well. You can see the ball just bobbling in the air, curling out toward the sideline and over.
Balance, yeah.
Now it's Glendale with a prime attacking position, middle of the field.
Bind.
You can see 4 backline players to the left, huge space out to the right. Halliman on the right-hand side would love to use this space, and it comes his way with Dahl first. Couldn't get away from Deschel. Coming around the corner was Wanless. And the ball was stolen, but illegally so.
Put your hands on the ground.
Rusalika was penalised for being off his feet.
On the ball first, and then back onto the ball.
So now a slight momentum shift in favour of Glendale. Archibald takes his time, comes up, takes a breath. He doesn't really get all of that either, but nonetheless, still now a good position for Glendale. Inside the 22 of Seattle. Fenolio steps up. 28-year-old Denver product. Former Eagle.
More.
Brought down nicely from Wanless. Sacked.
It was collapsed late.
Again, it was collapse, says the referee, so playing advantage. Archibald takes it toward the line. Well tackled.
Coming back.
It'll come back now, no advantage. Fenolio looks to go quickly, but he slows things down.
Number 4, collapsing them all.
Let's have a think about this, he says. Chats to his forwards. With just over 2 minutes in this half, this could be a massive turning point for Glendale. They've been chasing this game from the kickoff.
Guys, you can sack the man.
Now there's an opportunity to take the lead.
Formed, you cannot bring him to ground, okay?
Inside the 2-minute mark. Before the break. We knew it would be a tight match, and we have not been disappointed.
Maul!
Good driving Maul now. They've shown great technique so far.
That's once.
Seattle will have to do their best to stop this charge. Another tight driving Maul and over the line. The crowd are on their feet. Fenolio was. He started it and he finished it for the Raptors. They take the lead right before the halftime break. Zach Fenolio, the hooker, well deserved. We have seen this match flip on its head, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at this drive. Great throw, brought down, nice tight execution of the driving Maul. You can see Seattle trying to push it back, crabbing it infield. And Glendale were unperturbed.
You got 30 seconds.
Everybody stuck to their job. Fenolio was going one way, and that was over.
That clock's a bit wrong.
Great try and great footage there as well, especially the head-on, just seeing the determination of Fenolio, assisted by Wanless as well. Archibald. One for one on the conversion. And he slotted that one too. And that is halftime, folks. Glendale lead, 14 points, 2-11. And we're going to throw it down to head coach of the Glendale Raptors, Dave Williams, with Pete Steinberg.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Mark. Well, Dave, you finished that half up, but I think you struggled. What were the struggles that you were having out there?
I think defensively we weren't getting set, we weren't getting off the line, too many soak tackles. I mean, every time they got on their R22, they came over points. Every time we got on their 22, we didn't get any points. So we were a bit lucky towards the end, and we shouldn't be ahead, to be honest.
So what are you going to have to do in the second half to change the dynamic of the game?
I think just get our D-line set, get a bit more wide, get a bit more width, get some nomination, and get off the line and stop making so many soak tackles.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for your time. Right back up to you, Mark.
Thanks, Pete. Thank you, Dave Williams, head coach. We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be back for second half action in just a moment. We are in Glendale, Colorado, Rugby Town, USA to be specific. It's halftime of this top-of-the-table clash. The Glendale Raptors up 14 points over the visitors, Seattle, with 11. And let's have a look at these highlights. Pete Steinberg.
Absolutely. So some great play early on by Seattle. Duchel takes that ball on. Great ball placement. And just, you're not going to stop Sampson from there. He's been a force with the ball in his hands. Big inside center, able to get over. And then great play here by Chad London, seeing the ball is out and just really heads up, takes it. This was a bit of a turning point because Seattle had really struggled to be able to turn anything into points. But the next time they get into the 22, their forwards take over. They'd already shown earlier in the game that they were able to drive them all. And there's such great patience here. Look at that, they've just got Fenolio at the back, letting it drive, go forward, and then getting over the line. And just like Dave Williams said, we're not quite sure how Glendale is up 12-11.
Well, we expected a close match, and that is what we have. We'll be back for more analysis after this break. It is still halftime here in Glendale, Colorado. The Raptors lead the Seawolves 14 points to 11. Plenty of action. They are not disappointing this home crowd. And let's have a look at this battle up front, Pete Steinberg.
Well, the scrum has been a great platform for Seattle to launch their attack. They've got a very strong scrum, and you can see the battle that goes on. You can look at the props, you can look at their backs as they bend and they try and work, but you can also see that it's been just a challenge for both teams to be able to have an edge. I think both teams are doing a good job here, but it's been a very, very strong platform for Seattle. You can see Glendale got a little bit of a nudge, but they were still able to get the ball away, and then they were able to generate that go forward.
Of course, there's another very important match happening at the moment, Pete.
That's right, and we're listening to the Mile Highlanders playing right here, which is appropriate because Scotland up against the US in a game in Houston, and it's a close one with the US 13, the Scotland 21, and this, Mark, would be the first time that the US has ever beaten a Tier 1 team if they can pull that off in Houston.
Well, we are moments away from second half action. The Raptors lead the Seawolves 14 points to 11. Don't go anywhere, stay close to your screens as we'll be back for second half action in just a moment. Welcome back, viewers, to high-level rugby in high altitude in Rugby Town, USA. Second half action between the top two teams in this Major League Rugby Championship. And Glendale in the lead, 14 points to 11. Get us restarted
Outside.
for this second 40 minutes.
Use it!
Seattle bring it down well. Now the box kick from Mack. Plenty of time to bring it in. Jumps up, but can't bring it in on the first attempt. Finally, Cook gets it secured. And now the Raptors with some space. Fenolio scored the try right before the break. Waiting for support. Finally arrives. Christman sends it to one of his soldiers midfield. D'Archibald, flat, wide pass. Juggled, but finally brought in by Rogers. Now the Raptors line up back to the open side. D'Archibald, flat pass again to the replacement. Kwasniewski joins us for the second half. Halliman shapes up, gives. Fenolio finds himself out wide. Beautiful play from him. Ball in two hands. Nearly gets through. And now Dahl. Expect to see a little more of him as he gets warmed up. The Archibald, Wozniewski. Quick ball for Glendale. This is better stuff from them in this second half.
They still haven't solved the outside defense of Seattle. They're still, like, they're drifting and they're giving them the space, but they need to actually strike. And I think one of the things that Glendale do is they have great inside support. So they need to engage with the defense and then look for that inside pass. That would be open when they go wide.
Skipps has been tackled, play on.
One less. Loses it in the tackle. Mack has a look, sees no one home, puts it long. Now Halliman has to get back. He's got some time. There is only Isanalu chasing that kick. And he finally does well, but he is shrugged off by the strong John Ryberg. Ryberg needs to get the ball in his hands more often. Chrisman, the Archibald, spirals that one into space. Saw Turner was up, and what a beautiful bounce.
What a kick.
Great play from the Archibald.
Well, you know, at altitude, you can really do that. But what he did was he drove a spiral kick, and a spiral kick will just cut through the air, and he makes it turn. And this is what the Archibald can do. You can see beautiful spiral kick, gets over the head of Matt Turner. And when on those spiral kicks, when they land, they'll go all the way in. Huge amount of pressure on Seattle early. Glendale have come out really trying to play the game, and I think kicking is going to be one of the things. Matt Turner's not a great kick returner.
He likes to run it, especially with his sevens experience, Matt Turner. But when you turn him around like that, that's when you get the advantage. As Holden now rushes it too. It's well taken and well met. Brilliant play from those two players, showing their class. This is top-level rugby. Remember, folks, if you're just joining us, welcome. You're just in time as Glendale nearly find their way through with Dahl. Flat pass, inside ball, as Pete Steinberg mentioned. You might see more of those as the game progresses. Now London, a try scorer himself, Halliman, he gives, good play from Halliman. Decided to give instead of going on himself, and that might have just been enough. And it was to send Mika Kruse over.
Well, I said that they were really struggling to solve, and what they did was they had a couple of inside balls, like you said, Mark, and when they came out, really great straight running, was able to hold that drift and be able to create that space. But that all came from the inside ball to be able to get the go forward. So Peter Dahl right here is looking inside, able to come back. Great clear out right there over Phil Mack. He thought he had the ball again. Another inside ball, gets the drive forward. That's able to hold the defense. And for the first time, we got really fast ball going forward. Chad London, great job being able to draw the players, and beautiful, unselfish play there by Halliman. He went into the hole. He made the defender turn back inside, pass the ball. That is a beautiful, beautiful team try.
As you said, Pete, it was Chad London. You could see him just draw two defenders, had the ball in hand, went across field, and was able to bring in Rusalika. That opened up the space for Halliman.
How's your hair looking? Good? Just checking, man.
D'Archibald with a very tricky conversion. He's on the bank as well, has to come down, strikes it nicely, but just waved away to the right.
So we've already seen Kwasniewski come on for Glendale, and Luke White is another big unit, a former shot put champion, so that tells you how big he is, and he can also has played a lot of second row. Big guy, so the second half and the scrums in the second half are going to be critical, and that's going to be a really important. And Glendale also with Hayden and Lerone White coming off the bench have two big props as well, so that will continue to be a challenge for both teams.
Great take from Casey Rock from the kickoff. And now the Raptors with a handy 8-point lead. Only 46 minutes gone. Flake Rogers crawls his way forward. D'Archibald, wide pass to Halliman. Off the left again, straight through Halliman. Off the left yet again. Still going Halliman. Crunch to the ground. The ball was lost Referee didn't like it, so he'll stop the play. Let's see what he says.
So, you know, I feel pretty badly about Cam Paulson getting the yellow card there because he worked so hard to come back. But two beautiful left foot steps by Halleman just opened up the defense. I think Glendale works out on the outside. You've got to be aggressive with the ball. You can't just move it. But they're really causing some problems, and Seattle are really going to have to find some solutions. Seattle haven't had the ball in the first 6 minutes of this half. So, and here we have Glendale seem to have solved their scoring problem inside the Seattle 22, so here they have another opportunity. And watch this left foot. Matt Turner does a great job of slowing him down.
Just on me, please.
From behind,
on you,
and I have to say, it was over the shoulder. And so that's what the referees look for. If it's over the shoulder, that's a fair yellow card.
So I must admit, I didn't think it was when it first happened. I thought he just mowed him down and hit him hard, but definitely worth the yellow card on second inspection. And the line-out drive, which has proved so deadly for Glendale in this match. Still driving. Still going. Seattle doing what they can. Little breakaway, but the ball is still nice and tight. The back of that maul.
They're so good at getting that ball back, so good at getting it back, which means it's very difficult for the defense to get their hands on the ball.
Finally to ground, and now Rock, flat-footed, gets the ball quickly. D'Archibald moves it. A flat pass to no one. Way out in front there. Too far out in front for John Ryberg. And now they play quickly, Seattle. And that's good cover defense coming across. Mack gets it away, and it's intercepted by Fenolio. Precious stuff.
You pushed him into the player.
Play on.
Team going forward.
Until now.
Zach, he's
So
been
we'll come
pushed
back
into
for a
you, so I
scrum.
can't give a penalty for that.
So Seattle are really, they're trying to do, I think, too much. They're only down 8 points. They don't have to throw it around. It's very, very dangerous to do that. They almost gave it away. And Zach Fenolio really showing his experience. And here we go with the subs. The big Luke White comes in. As we see these changes in the scrum, what you're going to see is you're going to see the referee continue to talk to them because he has new props. Got to make sure they're able to do what he's asking them to do.
And Luke White, the replacement you mentioned, from Sydney, Australia, my fellow countryman. And also a product of St. Ignatius College, one of my old rugby high school adversaries. Shout out to my boys at Sydney Boys High School. Glendale now with the ball. Dahl, Chrisman. Now London on a sharp angle. Coming around the corner, White gets his first touch. And it's a good one. Over the advantage line. Same way, Rock. Players everywhere keen to get their hands on the ball. Nice right foot step from Cruze. Coming back to the open.
If you shout at me again, I'll penalise you, okay?
Kwasniewski gets met hard. Rock takes two to bring him down. Not the quickest of ball. The Archibald over the top. London's through. No one's home. And it's try time. What about the vision from Maximo D'Archibald? And then finished off by London. What a class connection these two form.
Absolutely. I mean, just really nice play. So what Glendale do when they get near the 22 is they work the same way. So you'll see their players coming round the corner. And when you do that, you can bring up the defense. There's no second line of defense. So what you'll see is that already decided Archibald was going to do it. Obviously, they talked about it. They'd seen no fullback back there to cover that space. Beautiful finish right here, able to go through. And all he needs is downward pressure. He doesn't need possession like you would in a football game. All he needs is downward pressure, and that's what he got. And now it's becoming a really, really long next 30 minutes for Seattle. They're really struggling. They haven't had the ball. They are just gonna, they have to be very methodical here. So I think they have Peter Smith back in. He's got a good foot on him. They have to play some territory. They want to turn the Glendale team, play in their half, and then get their forwards to do their job.
Well, whatever Dave Williams, the head coach of Glendale, said at halftime is working as the Archibald adds the extras.
I would actually say, Mark, that might be the best 10 minutes of rugby that Glendale have played in the MLR season, and this is missing. This is missing, and Dave Williams, he's like, you sit with him, they won by 30 points last week, and he was like, not good enough, not good enough. He has such high standards, but even missing 7 US national team players, they're playing really well now. And I talked to Dave earlier this week, and he said, some of those Eagles may not get spots if these guys play well, and they're playing for their spots in the playoffs right now.
Well, what a great problem to have as a coach. So much depth in this squad. Seattle are not done, however. Plenty of time left in this match. And they started really well. Raced out to an 11-0 lead. But now it is Seattle chasing it, and London with a little clever offload from Dahl. And another offload to Halliman. He's got pace. Turner comes in, can't put him down. D'Archibald on the loop. Still, play on. Still going, and he might go all the way. Oh, he's just pulled in. Davidson looking for support. He gets it. Cook 1 meter away. And it's try time. Well deserved. Connor Cook, the number 6 from Charlottesville, Virginia. Wow.
And you can just see the celebration that they're having. They went in at halftime. You saw me talk to Dave Williams. He wasn't happy. I'm going to guess he got after them. Every season, you have a couple of chances where your team isn't playing well, where you can really get after them at halftime. You can't do it every week. I think Dave probably got after them, and now they're really opening up. And I think Peter Dahl's been really key for this. He's able to get the ball. Great line by Chad London. Great hands by Seth Halliman. And then look at this. He slows it down. He says, who's coming? Support is there. Watch this. Everyone's coming. Harley Davidson runs hard, breaks the tackle of Turner, able to go through, pulled down just about by Nakai Penny. And then watch this. Remember, we said when a player is not held, they don't have to release. Connor Cook, not held, played really smart, got over the line. You can just see the celebration of the Glendale players. They want to make a statement here about who they are, and they are making a big statement.
D'Archibald not happy with the strike, but still went through, and the flags went up. So Glendale, 33 points to 11, lead this match. What a great start to the second half. They held a narrow lead going into the dressing rooms.
Well, what was interesting is when we talked to Dave at halftime, he talked about the defense, but actually they haven't played any defense, right? They've basically taken the ball from the kickoff, worked their way down and score. Do Seattle have 22 points in them? I don't know. The only way they're going to get there is if they have the edge in the scrum. And what a great take by Connor Cook, who's really putting a mark down for one of these back row places when the Eagles come back.
He certainly is relishing his opportunity today. And White just puts it down. So Seattle finally with some possession.
Well, first mistake in 13 minutes, being pretty much mistake-free rugby by Glendale. But in the last scrum, Seattle got the edge with the subs, and right there you see Luke White just too high, like the coach would say. It's about the battle of the shoulders. Whoever has the lowest shoulders in rugby will win. And you can see Luke White's head and shoulders too upright, and that's why he knocked the ball on. He needs to make it up. Here's a chance to make it up with his scrum. And he's up against Tim Metcher, so 2 Aussies going at it, 2 experienced players, and he's got a lot of work to do to be able to hold him off here.
Bind!
The entire back line of Seattle fanned out to this open side. It's a penalty at scrum time in favour of Seattle.
And this is the way that they're going to get back, right? Is that they're going to take it on in the scrum, and the props of Glendale, their props are Kwasniewski. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Kwasniewski and White are going to have to do a much better job. They got the drive, but you could see, he says Luke White just went straight down, wasn't able to hold up. You can't drive under like that, and that's what he called him from. But it looked like White actually got a little bit of a nudge. So if he's able to keep his bind up and keep his weight underneath him, that might be a good sign. Seattle inside the 22, important line out for them to get their confidence back. And remember, Seattle down a player with the yellow card, and they've only got a minute left for that.
Now the ball is pinched by White, so he made the early mistake. Redeems himself with that turnover at line-out time. As Glendale, plenty of numbers now, but D'Archibald opts for the kick. Another spiraling effort from him. Gets the bounce as well. Just playing territory at the moment, mixing up their game nicely, the Raptors.
Well, I think this is going to be the real challenge that Seattle have is Maximo obviously has his kicking boots on. He's turned Matt Turner 3 times with beautiful spiral kicks. And so every time they turn that ball over, they're going to have to start retreating. And here they have to go again, another 80 minutes to come back. Next stoppage, Seattle will be back. They'll get Cam Polson back on, and they'll be back to their full complement. But they're still 80 meters away.
Time it, Zach, yeah?
As you said, plenty now left on the shoulders of Peter Smith. Replacement fly half for the Seawolves. Has the ball now, sends it high and long, but it will stay in the field of play.
Definitely returnable here, and the kick chase is not good.
And Ryberg already proved himself a handful, strong runner. That's a great run as well from O'Neill. Taking it forward, settling things down. That's one less. He's met well. Plenty of width now in this Glendale offense. Dahl finds himself out wide, playing in the back line. Lays it back. Seattle opting not to counter ruck. Fanning out, it's a flat ball. Too flat, says the referee. That was forward.
Let go of each other.
So now it's Glendale. Oh.
Let go of each other.
Little bit of argy-bargy. The ball went out. A little bit of frustration coming out.
Sorry, yellow. Just taking some subs. Give me your scrum.
So I think what we're seeing here is what Seattle did in the first half. Some really nice play, but I would like to see Crispin play it a little bit quicker. You just see just a little bit forward, can't throw it forward. Some contest that goes in there. The referee called it, and then I think that's Wasalika, I think, really struggling there, and it's just the subs coming in.
Time back on.
So this is where the depth gets tested at altitude. We're really going to see what's coming here. But Seattle need to find a spark. They need Phil Mack to do some of his magic that we've seen him throughout the season. And we can see right here, you're going to look for a crash right here. You've got the wing coming in from the blind side, so we'll look for something that happens in the middle. Mike Kruse is a weak defender at 13. That's where I would go.
Seattle, wide pass. Rusalika can't pull it in. It goes down, and now cleaned up. It's with Johnson. So missing their opportunity.
Scrum advantage
The
over.
Seawolves. High kick over the top. Turner calls the mark.
So when there's a kick, if you're inside your own 22, and when you catch the ball, if you call a mark, you get a free kick. But actually, I think Glendale will be okay with that. Turners doesn't have a good foot. We see that there. Glendale will say, fine, we'll take a line out inside our own half. Be a good opportunity. Now watch this kick. Right-footed, outside of the boot. Something that you would see in the FIFA World Cup, something that Ronaldo would do as a way of trying to get there. Maybe a little bit too long, but a very tough kick to execute.
Sorry, I thought you were telling me it's 5. Yeah, we're 5. Yeah.
Fenolio with the throw. It's brought down well. And now here come the Raptors with Dahl. Up over the advantage line. Done that really well this match. Halliman getting involved yet again from fullback, ignoring the number on his back. Coming back to the right-hand side. That's Devin Vorder, the replacement.
Lots of go forward here by Glendale. Really difficult for Seattle to handle that. And I think that's a poor decision by D'Archibald right there. You had go forward, and if you kick it straight out, the opposition gets the line out and comes back.
Can you get him? He needs to be subbed. Yeah, if you stay there, that's great. Thanks, pal.
So a close game down in Houston, and there are 7 players, 6 Glendale Raptors, 1 Seattle Seawolves representing the US down there. 23-24, it'd be the first time, Mark, that the US ever beat what they call a Tier 1 country, which is the traditional rugby countries. They've had rugby for 100 years. This could be a historic occasion, and of course, lots of MLR stuff down there.
We're going to water break, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 60 seconds for plenty more action. Welcome back, viewers, to Rugby Town, USA, here in Glendale, Colorado. 33 points to 11 in this top-of-the-table clash, and it is the hosts that lead the visitors, the Raptors over the Seawolves. Just come back from a water break. Seattle now with the line-out throw. They have plenty to do to get back into this game. Been playing some catch-up rugby. Still plenty of time.
There is plenty of time, Mark, but they probably need the next score. If they can get the next score, even if it's 3 points, they can actually be able to play a little bit. And here they go, trying to move that ball, trying to create some breaks, but Glendale doing a good job.
Ball goes to ground. Comes in for Duchel. We haven't seen too much of Duchel. And Phil Mack spots a gap. He does this so well. One to beat. Has a little dance. Holds it up nicely, and Turner flies onto the ball. Still going, Turner. Clear out comes in, and now they have numbers to the left. Through the hands. Settles down with Linarts. The Belge. Back in now. Big clash.
9-13!
Hayden coming off better than his opponent. Ball slows down. That comes in, it's going to be a penalty.
Well, I said they did a little bit of Phil Mack magic, and that's what they get,
offside.
and a great support by Turner. And this is what we said they need to do. I think they're going to go for the corner here. It's probably the right move because they've struggled to actually play down their half, and this puts a huge amount of emphasis on their line-out. The challenge in the line-out in this situation is when you bring in replacements, your substitutions, they don't get as many reps in their line-out practice, so it becomes much harder to be able to get their timing. But they're going to take this. You can see they've got Shermer standing in the scrum off position, which tells you they're going to be driving this in.
And we'll try Wheeler.
Needs to be 10.
Treeweiler. You decide as the maul comes in for Seattle.
Good initial defense, but there's some patience here by Seattle. If they can get it going, it's going to be hard.
Start using. Let go the 9.
Needs to use it now. Phil Mack's at the back. Needs to use it. Referee's warning. And he's going to bring it back. They ignored the cries of the referee. It is a turnover.
So when there's a maul, the referee, he says you get one chance for it to stop.
Stop twice.
And then he says, as soon as he says use it, it has to come out of the maul. And he said use it. And you can see Phil Mack driving it in, and the referee saying, no, driving forward isn't using it. You have to get it out. I think Phil Mack has had some frustration.
He's not joined back in like that. If he's joining them all, then that's fine.
I laid off.
Yeah, I know you did. Thank you.
So important scrum right here. The last couple of scrums, Seattle have had the advantage. Remember, in their very first game of the season, they had 3 penalty tries from scrums, which I've never heard. This is going to be a very, very difficult opportunity for Glendale. They need a solid scrum. They need to move it quickly and just clear their lines.
I want to work with you, so I'm hoping we can keep that.
So Rookies for Rugby, brought to you by BECU. 15 players, 8 reserves, and they are full replacements. When they come on, they can't come off. Everyone plays offense and defense, 5 ways to score, no forward passes, and the big thing is when a tackle happens, play continues. You have a ruck, and so it's 80 minutes of hitting people and running around.
Key for so many in that synopsis, Pete, is that all players can play offense and defense. I know that players that convert from football, some play positions that don't even touch the ball.
Bind!
That's not the case in rugby. Everybody gets a chance with the ball in hand. You've seen it here tonight. Some of the big men.
Great solid scrum there by Glendale.
And that's a solid run as well from London. Setting up the platform for D'Archibald. Wobbles that one into touch.
I mean, not a great kick, but he'll be happy. They were 5 meters from their line. They'll be happy here. And Seattle's line-out hasn't been great. So Ray Barkwell, their normal hooker, is played with Canada today against Russia. And so Treewall has had a bit of a struggle with his timing, and a couple have been overthrown. So remember, Luke White was able to pick up that ball last time. I expect Glendale to contest, see if they can create another overthrow.
Treeweiler, not the prettiest looking throw, but finds the mark. And now, ball goes backwards, but Turner bursts onto it. He's brought down. London comes straight in for the turnover. And he gets it, and it's a penalty. So great turnover from Chad London for the Raptors.
Great play by London, because Matt Turner got over the gain line. London was trailing, and he got his hands on the ball, and Turner has to release if there's someone on their feet, and Adam Leal was right there. So really, really nice play. Great opportunity for Glendale just to slow the ball down, just to play a little bit. Now they want the next 15 minutes to be really slow. Give Glendale, Seattle, no chance to come in. So Rasalika gets the ball, great break here, and then watch London come round. He gets his hands on the ball, he's on his feet. Matt Turner has to release that. Really smart play, not much Turner can do, because London had their ball, had the ball and the player, was holding on to both of it. If I was Matt Turner, I'd be like, how could I even release?
Okay, thank you.
Lewis Hansen joins us from the bench of Seattle, the number 16. 24-year-old. His grandfather was an All-American hurdler at Notre Dame. Fun fact for you. It's Glendale now. Brings it away. London, nice flat pass again to Halliman. Offloads it back inside to the new number 12, Mika Kruse. The Raptors, same way. And straight through is Nick Kwasniewski. Still on his feet, buys his time nicely for the support to come in. Quick ball for Glendale. Fenolio holds on.
Thank you, good work, hold that.
Showing some patience. Good hands, right on the defensive line. Not an easy thing to do. And Glendale do it well. London throws a dummy, heavily marked, as you can well imagine the game that he's having tonight.
Regathered.
Cook, also a try scorer. D'Archibald comes around the corner. Good tackle from Phil Mack, putting plenty of pressure on. Such a little general and a leader, and he's actually forced the turnover. And away he goes, Mack, backing up the turnover, linking nicely, players out wide. Great pass, Rasalika, back on the switch. So up over the halfway line, Seattle now. And that's a penalty.
This is, Glendale can't do this. They have to just be calm. They don't have to give away penalties. They don't have to contest every ruck. They're up by 22 points. It's just like the first half. The penalties killed them. It was the penalties that allowed Seattle to come down. And I think that it's like this tackle contest penalty that with Phil Mack not releasing, which was a great play. And then right there, coming in on the side, offside, they're just giving the opportunity for them to be able to play. So it's a beautiful switch coming through. Right then, you can see right here, coming in, that's Mika Kruse, never got onside, never got behind the back foot. You have to retreat to get behind the back foot before you can play. Bert Coombs coming in and placing that ball back.
Henson, the replacement, gets it in. Off the back, Shermer, still going Shermer, brought down by his bootlaces. Same way for the Seawolves. Hayden. Better play for Seattle. They need to score, and they need to score quickly. Rasalika met well from his opposite number, London. Equally strong in attack and defense, Chad London. Straight over the top for the turnover was Kruse, and he looks like he's won it.
Making up for it, making up for it. Great play by the young 19-year-old. Just really, really nice play. What you'll see, what he did was he showed his, what we say is show your hands. The coaches say to the referee after the tackle, if you're a tackle assist, so you come in and help with the tackle, you have to show your hands, which means, hey, referee, I've released the player, and then you come down. Wow, look at this. Look at this, history in the making. 30-24, it's all going to be about the bench down there in heat. Go USA, go US Eagles. Gary Gold just done a great job down there. Sean Pittman, Greg McWilliams, his assistants, really doing a phenomenal job. Wow, both of these games are exciting.
Guys, you can have the time.
That is great news for USA Rugby. As you said, Pete, this could be a marquee moment.
Thank you.
And it is just, expect to see more of this. The USA gaining dominance in World Rugby.
Well, when we see players like Cruze, who's 19, started playing the game at 12, and he's out here playing professional rugby, he'll be donning an Eagle jersey at some point, and that quality is going to really help.
Nice inside ball to Johnson. So Glendale back on the charge. That's Border.
Tackle!
Ball comes down, it's loose. Gets it away into the referee. He'll call it back. He'll apologise and he will give the scrum.
The ball's hit me, so
Glendale.
So I'm wondering if Glendale are showing the rest of Major League Rugby where is the Achilles heel of the Seawolves. Because the defense of Seattle has been so good throughout the season, and it looks like the pass back inside is really where the space is. And that's actually, I think Glendale do that better than any team in the league. They always have supporters on the inside. It allows them to be able to find that. So next week, check out the CBS Sports Game of the Week when the Glendale Raptors travel to the Torero Stadium in San Diego to take on the Legion. Saturday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. Another great game. I think San Diego are coming through. This Glendale team's obviously showing they're playing some great stuff, and that's a beautiful facility down there, Mark. Just a wonderful place to go play rugby.
It is indeed, Pete. And also San Diego fighting for their berth in the playoffs.
So here we go. I think the Glendale lineouts has been one of their strengths. Zach Fanolio, just an awesome hooker, hitting his targets all the way through and mainly to the back. Connor Cook's been a real key to the back, and of course their line-out drive has been excellent all game, being able to really take on the forwards of Seattle with the line-out drive. But as we've said, it's been the scrum where Seattle had a little bit of the edge with the sub. So another opportunity here for Seattle to make a chance, to make a statement. I think there's an opportunity on the blind side here. Peter Dahl taking the ball on the blind side and able to attack there. There's only one defender. If he's able to win that ball, go quickly, he should be able to get some go forward down there.
See if that is their intention as well, Pete. As you know, they'll try and get that right shoulder up.
Crouch!
Just slightly skewing the scrum so that brings the number 8 closer to the sideline. Also takes the Seattle defenders out of it from the side of the scrum. Comes back to the left. Nice step from the young center, Cruze. Still going. Turnover attempt unsuccessful. Fanolio, ever involved.
Use it!
Dahl leaves it. Same way for Glendale. White, the Australian, charges forward. Quick ball, D'Archibald just underplaying his hand.
D'Archibald is standing a little flatter, and I think that's really allowed the Glendale attack to play at some faster pace.
Siali Marker just crashed into that defense. He's given away a penalty on that occasion.
So when you're tackled, the referee, if someone's on their feet with their hands on the ball, you've got to release. But if you work hard on the ground, which means you roll and you get a deep post, it becomes much more difficult. And I think right there, Siale just didn't work hard enough, and he allowed the Seattle defenders to come over and get over the ball. Right here, you'll see Ciale takes the ball, gets tackled, doesn't work hard enough, right? You see, just isn't rolling. He needs to roll, be able to buy time, but it's actually a pretty good play by the defender to get over there.
Is that knocked on?
Knocked on, the referee asks the AR, and it was. So it's a knock on for Seattle, running out of time here. Well, there's under 8 minutes left in this match. You would be a brave man to bet against Glendale to take this one home, Pete.
Well, I mean, I think the challenge is for Seattle is they came here, they wanted to make a statement, and even though Glendale are missing 6 of their players, Seattle are missing a couple, but I think this is a big statement. Seattle are going to have to go back and really think about how they can match up with this Glendale team more effectively, because they will probably come back and have a good chance of doing it in the playoffs.
Some miscommunication there between some of the Glendale backline players. They've come up with the ball, nonetheless. And now the box kick from the young scrum half, Jack Chrisman, straight out.
He was outside.
And the referee says he was outside the 22. So the line out will come back from the point of the kick.
Use the line, please, Blue.
So Chrisman, another 19-year-old, that's his first kick. It wasn't effective, but started playing in Highland Ranch. So he's a local boy, and he won the national championship with the Royal Irish. So he's got some national championship experience just when he was 17.
Ball goes way over the back, beats everyone. Dahl it was who came to clean things up, charged down, deflected. Turner comes in for Seattle. He's been well contained by this Glendale outfit. John Hayden inching forward. Coming in off his wing is Isainalu.
No hands down, no hands! You pulled him over.
Slower ball for Seattle along the ground. Come back for the penalty. Seattle will just want to play this quickly.
18,
Phil
play in
Mack
the 9.
walking toward the mark.
I think they're going to, so right now they're thinking about bonus points. So, their best thing is let's try and score some tries. Interestingly, they've struggled a little bit with their lineouts when their subs have come in. So they choose a scrum, which is what you're forced to do if you're not winning the lineout. So if you're not going to win the lineout,
thanks, guys,
you're going to have to use the scrum. But the funny thing is here, where traditionally Seattle would be like, hey, let's really drive the scrum, get a penalty. That's not useful for them. There's an opportunity for Phil Mack to attack the blind side, get the ball into Matt Turner's hands, and you can see Matt Turner coming over here. Lots of space to attack, and actually, I think Denver have a player down. They only have 2 players over here. With Matt coming around, they should have a natural overload.
You would think they'd use Turner here on the short side. It comes to Mack. They head that direction. Turner can't bring it in. Surely he had an open line.
Advantage over.
And that pass was a little hard from Phil Mack. So they have been forced to go all the way back. Smith tries to beat the chase of Harley Davidson. He can't. But his reinforcements get back in time to recycle ball. Now there's plenty of numbers on the right-hand side, all flat-footed. So Seattle running out of answers. Offload, still strong tackle. There's Fenolio there, making a nuisance of himself.
This ball's just too slow in the first half. They had so much fast ball, and right there again, great hit to slow it down. But Phil Mack, if he can go fast, he can make things happen.
Is that knocked on?
Wow, some big tackles coming in short succession. Just what you'd expect from these two teams. Another hit coming in from Russellika. Referee said it was legal. Up over the advantage line, almost through.
Peter Dahl again generating go forward. He's done it all through this second half. Just really impressive.
Just things getting a little sloppy as perhaps fatigue setting in these dying stages.
That's accurate.
Of this top of the table clash.
I talked earlier about how much I love stories about women's rugby, and Peter Dahl is married to Katie Dahl, who in her own right was an excellent rugby player, was in the US pool for a number of years. And here we go, there's 10 minutes to go with the US up by 6 points, trying to get a historic win against Scotland. You would think that as the game went on, the heat and humidity in Houston would be a digging.
Set!
Phil Mack goes to short side through Rasalika. Drops it back on the inside, and it's lost forward. A little chip over the top. Nice bounce. Oh, it's snatched out of the hands, and it's Cook. What a great play.
Not sure I've ever seen that before. Just takes out, and then Matt Turner. So for for whatever that was, when he took it off their hands, Matt Turner was able to come in and steal it, because when you make that break like that, you have no support and you've just got to buy some time.
Well, that was actually Mickey Bateman. Snatched that one out of thin air. Good play from the replacement.
So this little pop kick by Maximo comes through. And watch this, the ball's up. Bateman takes it right out of their hands. I think that, you know, when the ball is taken out of a forward's hands by the backs on the Monday video session, he's not going to like this. But watch the tackle. The tackle by Matt Turner was excellent.
So Seattle with under 2 minutes to play, mere consolation. Anything that they come up with at the moment. Glendale Raptors have this one in the bag. Great performance. We have some jet shoes out here. Brilliant tackle on the replacement. That was Dion Crowder, welcomed onto the field.
Some of these Glendale subs have really brought fresh legs and really brought physicality to the defense. Seattle are really struggling to know how to break this down now.
Shermer. Not even Aladdin Shermer could do things. There's Turner back on the inside. The ball was just a little bit too low. Doing whatever they can at the moment. Seattle. When you play catch-up rugby, you throw caution to the wind. The Archibald disgusted with that pass. Tries to prop it up with the foot.
Well, probably the last play of the game. He was just happy to get it out.
Yep.
I think Dave Williams will be very happy with this second half, with his second half score, and the changes that they've made. They've held Seattle out for the whole game, and that's what I want to see here in the last minute. Can we continue to hold them out? Big, big opportunity here for Seattle to finish the game on a positive.
So Seattle may have the last say in this match.
You brought it down.
Ball comes down.
You got penalty advantage.
They have advantage. Heads back down the short side with Henson. 5 meters out.
He's legally contesting, coming back.
Get the penalty, it'll come
Number
back.
2 collapsing them all.
So this is the last play of the game. Seattle have a chance to improve on
the line.
their 11-point score, which they've had for most of the game.
Yeah, and I would have probably chosen a scrum. At this level of play, the tap play, just hard to generate, go forward and be able to do anything. But from a scrum, you put 8 defenders in one place, it creates space.
So here come the Seawolves. Goes back on the inside, not a great pass, and it's towed ahead. It could be Glendale. Great speed from Crowder coming across in cover. He's the oldest of 10 siblings, the replacement for Seattle. Penalty, so it's not over yet. Turner goes quick, the 7s player. It's what he loves to do. Were they 10? Referee says yes.
Got to build a structure when you go quickly. So if you're going to go quickly, that's just slowed the ball down. Not really an effective choice.
Through the hands now to Henson. He's tried hard in the second half, Henson. Flat pass, I don't think Rasalika was expecting that one. And that will surely be full time here in Rugby Town, USA. The home team have secured the victory, and no one has been able to beat Glendale this season. 33 points to 11. They defeat the number 2 in this table. Wow, what a game, Pete Steinberg.
Well, what a second half. Glendale pulled it out, and it was close at half time. but Seattle just did not have an answer in the second half. And I think this is going to be some thinking for Seattle as they prepare for the playoffs in 2 weeks.
Wow. We'll come back after this break. We'll have an interview with the man of the match. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Major League Rugby was brought to you by BECU is proud to support the inaugural season of the Seattle Seawolves. BECU, you own it. Interested in 2019 Seawolves tickets? Get on the 2019 season ticket waitlist. Visit seattleseawolves.com for more information. Together, we hunt. And by Ivar's Restaurants, keeping clams since 1938 and a proud partner of the Seawolves.
Welcome back, viewers, to Rugby Town, USA. We are at Infinity Park in Glendale, Colorado. It's full time, and the hosts, the Glendale Raptors, have taken this one yet again. 33 points to 11 over Seattle. Number one just beat number two on the table. And let's have a look at some of the highlights. Plenty of action, Pete, in this game.
This second half was all Glendale. Great play by both Chad London and Seth Alleman to hold up the ball, be able to get through and then get Crusade to score, and then Chad London gets through on Maximo's kick, and just all Glendale, no opportunity as the game went on. Harley Davidson makes this break, able to come through, but it's not over. Right here, look at the support by Connor Cook. He makes the tackle, but he's released. He doesn't have to let go, and that effort to get over the line is just really emphatic. The bunny is here watching the game. He's up here enjoying the game with the rest of us, and what a game it was. And we have
You see the crowd enjoying this now at Glendale, as we have with us our man of the match, Chad London for Glendale. Just getting himself set up.
How's it going, guys?
Good chat. Barely even sweating. Well, great
Oh
go.
man, I'm exhausted.
So, Chad, first half wasn't great, even though you ended up leading 14-11. What was said at halftime, and what were the changes that you made?
The one big thing was just to hold on to the ball. You know, we try to go side to side, and you know, their defense, Seattle's defense was unbelievable, and yeah, they kept holding us and holding us. So, and we kept coughing up the ball. You know, probably around the 5th, 6th phase. And yeah, the big thing was just holding to the ball, and then on defense just to meet them, because we were kind of giving them soft yards, and that was the big kind of key for halftime, you know. So.
Chad, you had 6 players out representing the US.
Yeah.
And plenty of players stepped up tonight in their absence. What does this mean now for selections moving into the playoffs?
Oh man, it's huge. You know, we try to create competition in this club. You know, we've got great depth in our club, and that's the one thing that you want. You want, you know, 40 guys to come to practice week in, week out, and fight for positions. You know, so you know, credit to all the boys that play well, and you know, the USA boys when they come back, they're gonna have to fight for the positions again, which is what we want.
Absolutely, and let's have a look at Chad London's match. This is why he is man of the match today. Did plenty in attack early on. Sneaky one there. Chad, talk us through that.
Yeah, so obviously they got on the front foot, and I kind of hit I think it was their 13, the ball popped out, and I'm assuming we had advantage, so yeah, the ball was right there at the back of the ruck, and I said, hey, why not pick it up and go for it?
And on that kick, did you and Maximo talk about it before it happened, or did you just react to him?
Oh, no, it was planned, because they definitely were coming up hard on us, especially in the 22 defense. And yeah, I just kind of saw that their fullback had obviously been in the line. I said to Maxi, just put it in, you know, and yeah, he did, and obviously got the try, so it was awesome, yeah.
Well, fantastic game. Congratulations on
Thank
your
you
performance and the win today. Looking good going into the playoffs. Don't know who's going to be able to beat you, but time will tell.
Thank you very much.
Chad London for Glendale Raptors, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a fantastic match, 33 points to 11 in favor of the hosts. And on behalf of Pete Steinberg and the entire crew here in Infinity Park, I'm Mark Stabina, wishing you good night and see you next week.